Travel Talk, where our expert magical memory planners discuss ways you can have fun, memorable, and stress-free family vacations. Hi, everyone. Welcome back to Travel Talk. I am so excited to share with you and talk about multi-generational travel. So if you've been listening to our podcast, you may have seen that last month I talked about my family taking a trip to Mexico to an all-inclusive, and I talked about that resort and such. But this episode of Travel Talk, I wanted to talk about the multi-generational aspect of that trip. We love multi-generational travel, and I just want to talk about a little bit more what it is, why you might want to do it, how to make it happen, where you might want to go, and that kind of thing. So let's jump in. So what is multi-generational travel? So ultimately, it's when many generations travel together. So you have grandparents, and then the parents, and then the grandkids, there's cousins, there's aunts and uncles, you know, the entire family traveling together, or some level of mixed generations traveling together. And sometimes those groups can get really big, if you have multiple siblings in a family and they each have their own families. And so that group can get relatively big, and you can do it even with extended families. So maybe more of like a family reunion type trip where you have a lot more of the extended family coming. So anytime you have a different generations traveling together, there's just a lot of things to consider, and it can bring up a lot of questions. And because it's end up being a larger trip, it can be a lot for one person to plan. And so we want to talk to you a little bit more about it, as well as give you some tips. And then, of course, we'll recommend, working with a travel professional who understands multi-generational travel and can help you make it a little bit easier. But that is what multi-generational travel is, and what we're kind of talking about today. So why do multi-generational travel? I mean, there's a lot of reasons. For us, it came down to the memories that we could make together. Some families, like ours actually, have families in different states. So we can't always get together for birthdays and holidays. And even if one part of the family is coming in for a holiday, the other part of the family may have to be visiting their other side. So it's kind of hard to get the whole family together when you don't all live in the same area. So planning a trip where you can set some time aside and all go to one destination works out great. If you have a very large family, there might not be one family's home that can accommodate the whole family. So when you're planning a vacation together, there's ships and there's resorts that can handle that size of a group. So it gives you the opportunity to all be together. In other cases, maybe you do live near each other, but you tend to only see each other on holidays or set birthday celebrations. And that's great, but there's also a lot going on in a holiday and a birthday. There might be other families there as well. And so you don't really get the time to concentrate on building relationships and spending time together, because you're doing the party if you're the host, or there's other family and friends there. And so you don't really get to spend that time together. And lastly, there are some families that do get to live close together, and they do see each other on a regular basis. And when you love to do life together with your family, what better way to do life together than do vacation together? So there's still great reasons to travel together, even if you're a family that's very close-knit and really does things together on a regular basis, because now you can really start taking those family experiences and those bonds outside of your home and your local area and start building memories, so that the kids can say someday to their cousins, remember when we all went to Mexico together? Or remember when we all went on that cruise together? And so now you're extending those memories even further. So that is the why of multi-generational travel. At Magical Memory Planners, we're all about making memories together. And so that's a huge reason for us to recommend and encourage you to do the multi-generational travel. So the first big thing, though, is where? Where should we take our family? And of course, we're talking about anything from, it could be 6 or 8 people, just a family and grandparents, or it could be, a larger family of 15, 18, 20, 50. I mean, depends how many people you want to have. So I have some 3 basic recommendations on where you might want to consider doing your multi-generational group. So the first one is a cruise. Cruises are great for multi-generational travel for a couple of reasons. One, everyone's kind of on the same ship, so you can find each other easily. You can meet up if you want to. You don't have to overschedule it, because if you head down to the pool or you head down to the sports courts, you'll be able to see each other. There's kids activities, there's adult activities, there's family activities, there's something for everyone. So once you find the right cruise line and the right destination, there's a lot of options for you. And they leave out of the United States in a lot of cases, so that can make it easy to travel to. And in some cases, it might be something that everyone can drive to a port. And so that helps with expenses and such. The other great thing about cruises is that you're able to select your room. So if you want rooms all together, you can plan that. You can know that that's the case. Or if you want a variety of experiences, and maybe you have families with little ones, or you have people with a bigger budget or a smaller budget, you have the option of going to, some people might want a balcony, some people might not. And so you can actually have that variety of cost and location also on a cruise, because you're able to select your cabin. The other great thing about a cruise is they're great with groups. So they have group programs. If your group is large enough, they can accommodate everyone together at dinner. And so you can kind of go your different ways during the day, and then have your evenings to have everyone come together to dinner, catch up, talk about the day. You know, maybe some people will do an excursion together. They can hang out together. And cruises have childcare. So they have kids activities clubs for ages 3 to 12 on most sailings. And the kids can go together, the cousins can go together, which means the adults can be together and enjoy their time together. So cruises can be really great for multi-gen, and be a great way to bring everyone together. And you have a variety of locations to leave from, places to see, things to do. So whether you want to do something more exotic and do a Mediterranean cruise out of Europe, that's an option. Or if you want to do something closer to home and do a 3 or 4 night, 5 night Bahamian out of Florida. So you have like that wide range of options. So hopefully there's something that can accommodate your family group within that. If cruising is not your thing though, my second recommendation is an all-inclusive in the Caribbean or Mexico. So there are lots of family-friendly all-inclusives and a variety of price points to choose from. So whether you want to go to Mexico, Jamaica, Punta Cana, there's Turks and Caicos, there's lots of islands and locations in the Caribbean that offer family-friendly all-inclusive resorts. They're great for multi-gen, because everyone's together, again, on the same property. So you're able to meet up at the pool and see each other and spend quality time together. It's not a real scheduled vacation. So there's plenty of time to hang out, relax, just kind of meet up as at will. On our trip to the Caribbean, it was kind of like, just head to the pool. Eventually someone will be there. Everybody got up at different times. Some people got up and would run, and some people would sleep in, and some people would have a sit down breakfast, and some people ordered room service. But ultimately by, late morning, everybody was at the pool. And so as people started showing up, we just started having fun together. And so that's just a great laid back, something for everybody vacation. If you have active family members, they can go on an excursion. If you have golfers, they can go do that. People can meet up and schedule something at the spa. So there's still a way to accommodate all the different needs of the family, and yet you're kind of still all together. The other great thing about an all-inclusive is all the food and all the drinks are included. So now when you get there, you don't have to nickel and dime. You can be the best aunt ever because you just went and got all the kids virgin pina coladas at the pool, but it didn't cost you anything. So it can just be so fun to just be there with all the amenities and be able to eat and drink and have fun together and not really worry about additional cost adding up. And that's really helpful budgeting as well. So if you have one person paying for the trip, they kind of know what they're getting into ahead of time, and everybody kind of has what they need. So that's a great option for all inclusives as well. So lastly, my third recommendation is some type of guided travel. So this is great if you have a bucket list that your family really wants to do all together and kind of make that milestone memory together. Or maybe there's something in your heritage that you all feel very drawn to. So you know that your grandparents came from Italy, or you know that your grandparents, came from France, or you have some heritage in your family that you would like to experience together. There's actually a tour company that will actually look into your heritage and plan a heritage vacation for your family to take you through and walk through the steps of places that your ancestors lived and worked. So that's a really great option and a great way to experience something as a family. But it might just be an adventure or an activity that you guys just all want to do together. It might be that you're really into, the culture of Italy and you want to learn Italian cooking and you want to, experience those locations, or it's that bucket list destination. So, guided travel can be great for that. And there's group guided travel, there's private guided travel, depending on the size of your family. You might be in a group with other families, which can be really fun, or you might want to choose something that's private. And if your group is big enough, you might end up being your own group, right? So there's just a lot of options with the guided travel, really they go everywhere all over the world. So it just kind of depends where you're looking to go, the ages of the people in your group and that kind of thing to decide what you want to do. So the other thing I want to touch base on is theme parks. So theme parks are really fun. And when we think of families and vacation, a lot of time we think of theme parks. And those can be great for multi-generational trips if that's something that you want to do. But you have to keep in mind that if you have a larger family group, it might be a little challenging. So, we would recommend that if your family group is like 12 around there or less, that can be very workable. But if you have a larger family group, especially if you have a variety of ages, it can be kind of hard for everybody to do things together, to ride rides together, or to even be in the same theme park at the same time. So how are you going to put this all together? So you might be excited about taking a multi-generational trip, but how are you going to make this all work? So there's a few tips to putting that all together. And really the main one is to work with a travel professional that can really help you put all these things together. But a few things to help make that go a little easier for you. So first is I would recommend having that family meeting. Have a family meeting and you need to discuss a few things. First of all, does everybody want to do this? So that's an important, factor to see who's in and who wants to do this. You need to figure out how you're going to pay for it. So is one person paying for the whole thing? Is each family going to pay for their own part? Or do you want to mix it up a little bit? So sometimes you might have a grandparent or something that says, well, we'll pay for the cruise. It's your responsibility to do, the transportation to the cruise, the flight, or the, excursions or extras that you want, but we're going to pay the base fare, get everybody on the ship. Or we're going to pay for the all-inclusive resort package and insurance, but you're on your own for the airfare. Or maybe each family is going to pay for their own part. So that's an important part of the discussion so that you know who's paying and how you're going to break it up. You're also going to want to know what kind of travel you want it to do. So I mentioned 3 different types of travel that works really well with families. So, or you might have another idea as well. So determine what type of travel you want to do. And if possible, maybe what destination you want to go to. That'll really help narrow it down and help us start finding you great options that'll work for your family. And then also you'll want to figure out the time frame. How long do you want to go for? Do you have specific dates that works on everybody's calendar? A lot of times for a family trip like this, you really kind of need to plan a year or more out so that everybody can put it on their calendar and get it blocked out so that they know they have that time set aside. So that's an important thing. And then once you have that information, you can reach out to a travel agent and say, okay, this is our family. This is what we're looking to do. This is when we want to go. And then set up a meeting with that travel professional to meet with your key decision people. So you can have the whole family there on a Zoom call or have them come to your house if that's an option. You could just have maybe one person from each family unit be on the call. However you want to make that work, whoever your decision makers are and whoever needs to be there to discuss that. But then you can set up that call and get that process started. So, the travel agent will be a huge asset because they'll be able to, 1, direct you into the right direction. They'll be able to keep everything organized as far as payments, answer questions, be that point person, and then handle all the different payments. If you're doing different people making different payments, that's what we do. So we're really good at that, and let us do what we can do to help you so that you can really focus on the family destination. And some of the fun things to do when you're doing a family trip like this is to make some family merch. This is something we did on our trip. We made a logo and put our name on it and our year that we were going, where we were going. And we made stickers and we made bags and we made hats. And so it was kind of fun to have some family merch highlighting our trip. And, those are those little details that really make that family trip super fun. So now that you know how to do it, the question is when? When should we do this? When is the right time to take a big multi-generational trip? And the answer is now. Now is the right time. Now is the right time to start that conversation. Find out who would want to go. Is this something your family's interested in? Because planning these trips can take a little bit of time. Sometimes they can be a year out. And so if you don't get that conversation started, it's one of those things that it's always something you'll want to do, but it won't ever come to fruition. So get that conversation started. When you're at your next family gathering, at a birthday party, at the next holiday, on a summer vacation, say, hey, what do you guys think about all going to a vacation together, or maybe all going on a cruise together, or going to an all-inclusive? Is that something that you think that would be fun? And just get that ball rolling, because once people start buying in and get excited about it and want to do it, now you have that momentum of everybody kind of working toward the same goal, and you can really get something going, get something started. So even if you have real little ones, or your families are still growing and you're thinking maybe now is not exactly the right time to take the trip, it's still now is a great time to start the conversation, because you don't know like where that's going to lead. And if it is something that you want to do, and you know that you want to do it in a certain time frame, you can get ahead of it and make sure that you're all working toward that same goal. So it's definitely something to think about, something to work on. And we love helping families. We love helping families make those magical memories. Magical Memory Planners, our agents, have planned lots of multi-generational travel, as well as we've planned trips for our own families and our larger family groups. And so we've experienced it on sort of what you would experience as being part of the family group, as well as we've planned it. So we would love to help you make this happen. But ultimately, the time is now. Get that multi-generational trip together. Let those cousins get together and make those memories. Reconnect with your siblings. As adults, it's hard to sometimes, reconnect with our families. We're so busy with our own children. To reconnect with our brothers and our sisters that we used to travel with when we were kids, and now to take our own families together can be great. And as grandparents, to see your kids all in one place, to see all your grandkids together having fun. Those are the memories that, that last the rest of your life, is something to really look forward to. And of course, while you're all together, it's the perfect time to take some family photos and enjoy those memories and have those pictures. So we would love to help with multi-generational travel. We would love to help you make those memories together. You can reach out to us with any questions and, start planning those family trips.